order for the 24th day of June, the Plan Commission. Please stand and face the flag and join me in saying, I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Tammy, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Erickson?
Here.
Ms. Burke? Here. Ms. Duffy? Here. Mr. Burge?
Here.
Mr. Bogowski?
Here.
Mr. Malinger?
Here, we have a quorum. If you can't hear me in the back, say something. I don't have that strong voice like the BZA president, Mr. Kremke, did. He was much more effective. So if you can't hear something, say something. Our first order of business is consideration of minutes from May 20th. May 20th.
I motion to approve the minutes from May 20th.
A second.
Comments, questions, additions? If not, if you're in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nay. All right, audience participation. Is anyone here that would like to make a comment to the Plan Commission about any item other than what is on the agenda already? And hearing none, we're gonna go forward quickly to the preliminary hearing for the goat farm. So who's here to represent Kevin Spilacci, or are you here to represent yourself?
Good evening, I'm Kevin Spellisy.
Spilacci, thank you for helping me. I'll try to do that right next time.
Yeah. The property that I'm here to talk about is 301 West Highway 20, just east of Leroy's Hot Stuff, for reference. How should I proceed?
Just give us affirm that you're the property owner.
Yes, I
Tell
am.
us in general what you're trying to do, and then I'll ask Mike to summarize any of the documents you
Okay.
can provide.
Yeah, so I am the property owner. And so what I'm proposing is a mixed-use development, low density. I'm calling it the goat farm. We do plan on having a boutique goat operation, which is two to three goats, really it's designed for the experience of short-term rentals. So we want those, we're gonna make, we're gonna show them how to milk a goat, we're gonna make cheese, soap, lotions, those kinds of things as part of the experience of the short-term rental. So it is, it's very small. I mean, I think the actual structures we're looking at is about 10 by 20 or something like that. And so, but we are calling it the goat farm, and we're kind of sticking with that farmhouse architecture throughout. So we're proposing townhomes and fourplexes, and built in a farmhouse style, and also short-term rentals built in a farmhouse style.
So total number of units and what
I
they're,
think-
each one of them is, like how many are short-term rental, how many are something
Right.
else?
So right now, we have to kind of finalize some of our numbers, but right now, as it stands, 52 townhomes and 4 short-term rentals in phase one. Now, assuming that we have an affirmative acceptance of those short-term rentals within the marketplace, then we would propose 7 more in phase 3 or 4 down the line. We're also proposing a marketplace, or like a farmer's market out on right off of Highway 20. Behind that, attached to that, we're looking at a restaurant, a high-end restaurant, and then also a boutique inn, 16 to 20 rooms. And we also have on the lower end of the property, we're looking at a solar field. It's going to generate enough electricity to power the whole property. We're looking at various agritourism, I would say, is kind of what we're going after. So we're going to have an apiary You know, we're gonna make our own honey. We'll mix that with the goat milk and make, you know, products with that. And also proposing a digital display on our property that, down on I-94, or I-90.
Okay, that's a,
I have a question. Is it okay to ask?
sure.
I went by there. Are you behind Randlers? I know you said east, but there's a lot of property, and how much property is it?
25 acres.
25, okay.
It's currently,
Couldn't figure there'd be that much.
yeah, it's a classified forest right now. And we're gonna try to maintain at least, in order to participate in the classified forest program, you have to have at least 10 contiguous acres. So we are planning on maintaining at least 10 contiguous acres until some such time as, you know, the development moves forward, you know, many, many years down the line, I would say, if, you know, assuming that the short-term rentals work in the marketplace, then at that point in time, then we would probably build into those 10 acres that we're maintaining today as classified forest.
Okay, that's a good high-level view of what it is. Now, have a seat if you like. I'm going to ask Mike to describe the materials that have been submitted to him in the process that the town has already gone through. And then after that, I'm going to ask our council to explain to us and to you exactly what it is we're deciding tonight, and the only thing we're deciding, just so you know what's on the end of the spoon before you swallow the medicine. So, Mike?
So we had the TAC meeting with, a few months ago, with the original proposal, and as Kevin stated, it's agritourism on a smaller scale. So it's not a giant farm, it'd just be maybe, like you said, a couple of, they're actually miniature goats.
Well, I think,
Yeah, they're pretty small.
the milkers are a little bigger, but
Okay,
then
but they're not-
also, we were looking at maybe some miniature ones. I don't know if anybody's heard of goat yoga. It's kind of a thing, and, you know, the people like to get their pictures taken with the miniature goats on their back. So we're looking at a handful of, or just a couple of miniature goats as well as the regular goat milkers.
So while that's the name of it, it's not like, you know, a farm of 300 goats, just a few. The short term, so there's a lot of different parts to this thing. There's the townhomes, short-term rentals, a little market, all of the things that I guess I would say fall into what we looked at in our comprehensive plan as tourist-related items. There's some housing on it, obviously. And it's not gonna happen all at the same time. It'd be spread over several years. There's a couple of little barriers that he has to deal with. One's water, one's sewer. So there's no sewer or water on site. We've spent quite a bit of time talking about that, and he's pretty far down the road investigating how that would work. So he'd have to hump uphill. The site drops about 45 feet as it heads south from 20 to 94, so it's going the wrong way for sewer. It's possible to pump across 20, tie into the Oak Hill Road sewer system. I had the Commonwealth engineers looked at that already and determined we'd probably have to do a little pump upgrade at the lift station on the corner over by Dune Meadows and Oak Hill Road. So that's been looked at, and the water would have to go around 20 and tie into the water main on Oak Hill Road, which is just to the east side of 20 at the intersection. So he's done a lot of work researching that already and looked at those items. And again, it would be built in phases. So in the TAC meeting, we kind of went over all of the roadways and access and safety access for police and fire, and put all those in the comments that I sent you guys before. He's put together quite a nice brochure. It's got a lot of information in it. Other than the small graphic issue with the driveway going on to 94, but that's not gonna happen. So he's put a lot of time into this. We've been talking about this for quite a while. And it has to be a PUD just because it's got so many different variables to it. There's nothing else that it fits in. So as part of the PUD, he puts an ordinance together, which once it passes through the Planning Commission goes to the Town Council. So he has started on that, and got some items written into it already. I think it's a neat little project for that property. It's been sitting there vacant for a long time. It's, like I said, it's about 25 acres. It's behind Leroy's. The east side of it butts up to vacant property that's behind Orchard Apartments. So it's sort of in the woods right now. The west side of it butts up to the backyard of a bunch of houses on Wagner Road. But it's really kind of isolated back there. Several years ago, the prior owner had contacted me about access onto 20, and there's no restricted access onto 20, but you still have to deal with NDOT to get a driveway. They more than likely ask for a deceleration lane or something like that. And obviously, it's very close to the crossing of Oak Hill Road, where we're currently looking at putting in some right-in, right-out barricades, and I've been talking to NDOT about that. NDOT's looking to repave this road, Highway 20, and go down to 3 lanes by like 2032. So it's kind of scary to talk about 2032 right now, but that's what we're looking at. So he would have to get an NDOT driveway permit. I would assume they'd want a acceleration, deceleration lane. It probably would run right over to Leroy's property. And I know we're all familiar with Leroy's, which is just a wide open parking lot that dumps out on the highway. So there's no control going on there at all. But I think he's put a lot of thought and effort into it and really gone through a lot of details. It's a very interesting proposal. And at this stage, he's got quite a bit of it put together. So going forward to get it approved, he'd have to finish his PUD and get some more information on utilities and kind of narrow down the phasing of it. But it's agritourism in a smaller scale that encompasses a lot of different things. And what you do in the PUD typically is you say, I want to have the ability to do A through Z, whatever you put on it. Doesn't necessarily mean you build all those things, but at some point you phase that, and however it's put together, the things you really want to do is what you put in there that you're going to do, and then there's things you can do possibly in the future as part of the PUD approval. So I like the idea. I think it's really fits in with what our comprehensive plan said. So.
Great.
Enough babbling. So.
Okay. So, Mr. Counselor, can you remind us and the petitioner what it is that we're just deciding tonight?
Tonight is just setting this for public hearing, right, and giving him an opportunity to do this in a more formal presentation, giving the public an opportunity to have input as well, much as you witnessed earlier.
Right.
I have a question. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, you should.
No, ladies first.
Thank you. I just have a question about, you mentioned the 10 acres of the forest. And I love our comprehensive plan. We plan for, a lot of green space. And then you mentioned that, down the road, maybe that would be used for something else. Or, I know it's all theoretical right now, but I would really strongly urge you to keep some nice forested space for all those reasons that we like it.
Sure. Well, I think it's in our best interest to keep the forest in space, especially for the short-term rentals, because, have that sign, hey, certified forest on property, I think that's a pretty unique, value proposition for this people.
I love the whole thing. It really sounds great.
Yeah.
So.
So I think in phase one, in the engine that drives it, really is the townhomes. So we are looking at the 52 townhomes, and that number works for the project. I mean, to drive everything. And then in phase two, we're going to start with 4 short-term rentals and see how the market likes it. And then if the market accepts it and it looks like that's something that we want to expand on, then I think we would be cutting into some of that. So at that point in time, I would, I have to pay the taxes and buy out the classified forest portion, because there's just not 10 acres then at that point in time. But it's going to be heavily wooded. We want to save as much of the forest as we possibly can.
Thank you.
Jim, you had a question?
Are your investors local?
Well, we have, I'm the investor at this point in time.
Okay.
You know, once we, we're not at the stage where I'm talking to investors at this point in time.
But
I would love to, I mean, we're gonna, I foresee having a, I have some Leroy's, a friend,
Are
and
you local?
I am not local now, no, I'm out of Indianapolis. Yeah, it just, when the time's right, I'll be moving up here.
And I know we're at the beginning stages. What cost are you thinking on these townhomes?
Per,
Price range?
like you're for the rent or for
No,
build?
for owning, or you're not gonna be renting them out townhomes, are you?
Well, they're townhome, I'm sorry, I maybe misspoke, they're townhome apartments.
Okay.
These are apartments that look like townhome,
Okay.
farmhouse style townhomes.
And the price range on that to build those? I know it varies, I'm just
Yeah,
trying to get some idea.
yeah. I think, excavation right now is probably my biggest,
Expense.
because of the way the property is.
Yeah, your infrastructure will kill you.
Yeah, so the infrastructure we've largely worked out, I think. I do have approval from Indiana Water to connect. We've talked about the sewer, so I think we have a decent idea on those. The excavation cost is really the unknown right now. And that's something, but, I can't get anybody out to look at it until I have the PUD in place.
No way of addressing that when it comes to the public hearing. The community will definitely want to hear, are you thinking, market rate? Are you thinking upscale? And you can describe that however you want, but that's a way that the community will probably like to hear you frame the answer to what Jim's looking at.
We are looking at, we are looking at luxury
Okay.
townhomes. We're looking to take advantage of the South Shore. Our market could, peak Chicago. We want the, so instead of paying $2,500 a month to live in Naperville or whatever,
That's low for Naperville.
yeah, live in the country, and I think we're looking at that, about $2,100, $2,200
Yeah,
price
those
range.
kind of
Rent.
details that people in the community want to hear. Other questions? Tara, why don't we just go down the line?
Sure. Well, I was just gonna ask you a question, Rob. Because this is agritourism and we have such a sensitive ecosystem, and I'm hearing lavender and a couple other plants, would it be appropriate? I don't think we have it in the law that we have to accept a landscaping understanding of this property, but because it's agritourism, would that be appropriate to request?
I think I want to let the council answer that first.
I'm not sure, requesting prior to, or is it a condition?
Just requesting a landscaping,
Are you saying, is that typically something that could be included in the PUD
yes.
as a component of the PUD agreement?
Sure. You can, that's the give and take with the PUD is they can push some of the limits of what they normally wouldn't be allowed to do if they were to parcel this up. So, yeah, it would be appropriate to.
Is that something that the commission likes, or is that just a me thing? I don't know.
I don't think you're alone speaking
Okay.
for
A
you.
PUD gives us more control, really.
Yeah.
Well, it gives everybody, it gives them flexibility that they seek to do all of these various things, so
Okay.
it's a give and take, yep.
Not that I like it, I just, that would be the information that I would like to know.
So, just for clarification, you would like to see a landscaping plan?
I don't know how detailed I want that to be. I just kind of hear goats and lavender. I like the idea. It does go well with our comprehensive plan, but we have neither goats nor lavender in our area. We're not a farming community, and I would hate to introduce, and lavender and goats are good. Maybe they could eat all the tree of heaven that's on that property because that property has some invasive issues, and I know goats will eat anything. But I just would like to understand maybe what type of lavender and what extent of lavender. I don't think.
We're looking at that, really, the lavenders, we're gonna have two separate flower, we're planning on growing flowers, and selling flowers at the market.
Let me add something, and then I'll turn back to Tara for another question. Where you live, with a comprehensive plan, Mike Rigg referenced to, and the communities around here, you can expect that the discussion at a public hearing and subsequent to it during the elaboration of PUD. You can expect biologists from the National Park Service. You can expect master gardeners to come up and want to encourage you to do certain things. Count on that.
I've already requested some information on certain lavender that you would be able to grow,
Yeah.
so.
I was leaning toward English lavender right now, but we're actually, so the lavender would be between the solar panels.
Okay.
So, but there is the gas pipeline that runs right through there, that, very restricted about what we can do there. I'm looking to turn all that into active flower gardening, and flower growing. And we'll sell those flowers at the market.
Just as a point, as we're getting here with the detail, and to the extent, even though he's asking to be set for a public hearing,
Right.
is the consideration of whether he might like a little more time. And I'm not suggesting that you do, right? And that's your decision whether you do or don't, but based on some of the feedback now is whether you'd like this to be set for next month, and then with the potential that it gets continued because you're gonna want more information or other things, or coming back in a month or so and then asking it to be set so that you could have further dialogue, with the idea that when you finally have your public hearing, right, maybe you get sooner than later to your decision versus having it a 6-month process.
So let's do this, we're gonna continue down the road, see what other folks have got, and then before we decide if we wanna have a motion for PUD, we might ask you to consider how you feel at that point. Tara Moore?
No, I just want to not discourage you with my comments. I really like them. I just had some questions on the plants. I really do like the idea.
Jim?
Yeah, overall, I think it's very creative, and entrepreneurial, so kudos, for that. I do have a question, I think probably from Michael, on the infrastructure questions, in that needing to pump things across 20, needed improvements to the lift station, et cetera. Are those costs would be borne by the developer, or is those on the town to do?
Right at the moment, they would be by the developer. We are looking at upgrading lift station pumps, so I haven't discussed that with anybody yet as how that cost would be. Because from what I could tell from Commonwealth Engineers, quick study on Oak Hill Road's lift station, that the pumps need upgraded at a minimum, which we're looking at doing at different locations. That's one of them. So if we are looking to do that, we probably want to discuss how that gets paid for or split or whatever. I haven't talked to you or anybody about it yet, so
Okay.
very preliminary, but that's something we need to look at.
Okay, that's all I have.
Okay, Brian?
As a fan of goat cheese and lavender, I'm all for it.
Okay, so, as Chris explained, all we're here tonight is decide, is this far enough along that it's appropriate to set it for public hearing for a PUD? And I guess I want to set the expectation, PUDs, especially with complicated, exciting projects, take a bit, right? We don't necessarily have a hearing and say, oh, wow, it's all done. Because for one thing, there's a lot of ink that has to be described. It is an ordinance, but it's got to be something that you plan. So we said at public hearing, it's gonna take a minute after that too, and dialogue over the issues that surface there, our discussion about how to get them, and then I suspect there will be actions. It could be a bit before the PUD is actually voted on. And of course, you'll be intensely involved in that. The public hearing is what gets this process started. Still feeling like you wanna go forward with it?
Oh, absolutely. Sooner the better.
Okay, if there's no other questions, I'd entertain a motion.
So moved. I would like to motion to set for public hearing for our next meeting, was that July 15th?
Is that right? Okay, he won, he got there first.
Good,
You could second.
I'll second it.
Seconded. Tammy, would you please call a roll?
Mr. Erickson?
Yes,
Ms. Burke?
Yes.
Ms. Duffy?
Yes.
Mr. Burge?
Yes.
Mr. Bogowski?
Yes.
Mr. Mallender?
Yes. We look forward to seeing you next week. It's gonna take a bit to get this. It's a very
Next
large
month.
project. Or next month. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
That's the list I was telling you about.
If you have questions though, yeah,
Kevin, you're gonna have to give me a call because all that has to be done by
Up in
Friday.
Michigan City, we did on
Only because we are
Put it in
back
there.
Right, yeah.
and the
low
holidays
income
coming up.
housing. 500.
Okay.
and if there's any issue,
We
make
got
sure
3
that you
completely
let them
built,
know
now
so
we
that
got
they can
another
bump
3.
that ahead.
One's a
If you
clubhouse
don't
and
have
2
those
more.
done, then
The rent's
you can't have a
500 a
public
month
hearing.
for a 1-bedroom.
And what's not clear, make sure you come back and let these guys make sure it's clear. for
Run
you.
on a Mitsubishi air conditioner.
Thank you.
So it runs about
All
$70
right,
a month.
guess what, we ended up public hearing.
They gotta work. If they don't work, we'll get them a job.
So I'm going to
Run
call
by
a
the
public
people that
hearing.
live there.
Wait, what do I do
Just
first?
an interest.
Do we have reintroduction? Oh, this, this is the subdivision.
Infrastructure's
This is a subdivision on an old
Okay.
order.
Don't we have to,
NIPSCO, they drag.
The notice is sufficient, so we're
The
all.
notice is sufficient, right? Okay, so there's that. So we're gonna call a public hearing into session at 7:50. Brian, just give us a quick reminder, what's,
Quick reminder is I'm splitting this lot. The BZA granted a variance with a couple conditions on the time frame that I build the house along the structure. And if it's within a year or something, then I gotta come back and ask for an extension for a reasonable,
Good cause.
explanation, cost, whatever. So, it's, the split meets all the town's, ordinances as far as size and setbacks, and I actually designed a house. I have a septic permit for this house that's ready to get picked up once this is approved, so, it meets all the requirements of the town, other than the variance that I got approved, earlier on, so.
Mike, real quick, could you say, why did we send it to BZA? And then he's back here now.
Because it had to, he had to have a development standards variance when he splits it, the pole barn will be by itself on the property without a principal structure. That's why we had the variance.
And Chris, can you lay out what Brian just said, but in as exact as you can to detail where we're at with what the agreement would be, what the variance is?
The variance is to allow an accessory structure without having a primary structure, subject to certain conditions that he build it within a year, and if not, as he said, as he represented, that there's a possibility to get an extension for good cause, to record those findings and decision, and to make sure that the public is aware in case he tries to sell them, and also to not sell the property without having a primary structure attached. So addressing all the concerns that he's not trying to do an end run, that just have an accessory structure and sell it off, so.
Okay, now that's part of the record of this. You probably all heard it. I didn't see when you walked in the room, but you probably all heard it anyways, but I just wanted that to be part of the record. So, back to you, Chris. Our options tonight are to just approve the split.
That's right.
When the plan commission does a subdivision approval, is that a final action?
Yes, and there's actually, in the form of proposed findings and decisions, that if you approve it, it is approved, subject to him having that plat, right, signed, and then you could add conditions if there are any that get added to that, which at this point, you would have had a condition potentially if you did it the other way to
Right.
make sure you had BZA approval, but he's already done that.
All right. You follow all that? So normally we're an advisory board, but this action is an action. Boom, it happens. So specifically, for example, one, could we apply the same conditions as the BZA?
You could, I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah, okay.
Because he already has that and he loses that variance, so you could make it, I don't think there's enough, you can tie them, but I don't think you need to.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be recorded, the findings and decision, so
Right.
this split it would have been contingent, but he already has the variance that he needed, so for your purposes, he's whole.
Yeah. So in the extremely unlikely condition, but nonetheless possible, that Brian got really busy with something else for a couple of years, he lost the thing, and the property would already be split, and we would have in fact created what we were trying to avoid, a non-compliant property, if he built with
So
the split.
you could, except he's not allowed to sell, right? Under that, the other conditions for the variance is that he cannot sell. So this subdivision, if you make the condition, for instance, what are you contemplating? That if he doesn't build that home?
Yeah,
Can I put a scenario in place, please?
do it.
There is a property on Mineral Springs, which is right around the corner, and it's not uncommon that if someone owns two properties, that they build a house on one and build a barn on the other. I think Mr. Berry can attest to that too, that like, if it's combined as one deed, so to say, it's one property. So one deed might say, lots 1 and 2 of such subdivision. I think I had. Let me see if I brought it. You know what, I didn't bring it, but there's a few same things happening around that area where there's a barn on a property that both people own, essentially. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but we're trying to avoid creating one. I mean, that was the
Yeah, I
whole
know.
thing. And
Yeah,
think
but if it's
I
held
don't
in-
wanna beat this to death, because
If
we've
it-
been trying to do this in a stepwise fashion to minimize.
Yeah. If it's held in the same ownership, it's not a problem, correct?
Right.
But then you're starting to establish, do you need to subdivide it?
Well, eventually, I'm saying that I am eventually gonna subdivide it. Or, well, I wanna subdivide it and build a house on it, so. And that's my primary occupation, is, I'm a
Like I
builder.
said- Like I said, this is a small possibility. I'm just noticing that we actually could create the condition that we're trying to avoid.
And at the risk of overkill, maybe you do
Yes.
put the exact same conditions.
Yeah.
That the subdivision would elapse or terminate if he does not comply with the BZA, and impose those same, it's out of the ordinary, but this whole thing's out of the ordinary.
Right. You follow?
Yeah,
I-
no,
I-
I'm with you.
I think you're not
I'm-
gonna come back in a year. I think you're gonna go get a building permit.
Yeah, I mean, that's my intent, like,
Or, quick, so, but the whole thing was we wanted to stop creating non-compliant properties. And we-
Yeah.
There's this little narrow window to go through.
can I ask a stupid question? Do you guys want, like, a new house there?
We like growth.
Oh, okay, all right, I was just asking.
I mean, that, our comprehensive plan says we want to be a growing community.
Okay, well, this is meeting the comprehensive plan then, so.
And there's nice houses that they put up out there. They've done a great job.
Thanks.
So does everybody understands that sort of two of the options, right? We approve it and we run a risk.
That's the final one.
Another one is we approve it subject to the same conditions at the BZA and we avoid the risk, a little complicated stuff. Those are two of the options discussed. And if everybody understands that, Mike would like to
I
comment.
want to say something in this verbiage. So the plan commission's not allowed to create an illegal property. However, with the variance, it would be legal per the language of the variance.
The day we did it.
So all of the, as he noted, the size of the lot and all the stuff, all that stuff's normal. There's no variances to that. But since we've approved the variance for the accessory structure being on the property, it's theoretically not an illegal separation when you divide it, so, correct?
Sure, but
Sure, but, yes, yeah.
it could become
If-
a non-compliant
If-
property.
If he doesn't follow
Right.
what he
But
approved.
then we've ended up in the position as an end run that you wanted to avoid.
Right.
And so,
Thus, thus two possibilities discussed. One was a possibility that we would, 2 years from now. Inadvertently create. Sure.
So, let's say for 2 years that I decide that I want to come in 2 years later, say this gets denied for whatever reason, I want to come in 2 years later and build the house, then I'd be back to the same thing that we're going through now. You understand, Michael?
Yeah, but 2 years later, then you wouldn't have met the requirement of the variance, so.
Well, right, but I'd have right, it'd be, if I turned in a building permit for the same thing, that it'd be it's kind of weird because there's some ping ponging back and forth with the different.
In 2 years, in 1 or 2 years, we hope you come back with a building permit.
Well, right, but I'm saying if for whatever reason this doesn't get passed, then I might go through it the other way and apply for the building permit first. And then I'd get denied and then have to come get a variance for the same thing that I'm getting here now, and then do the subdivision. I know I just confused everybody in this room.
You've got the variance, so.
I know. Yeah, no, I get
If you
it.
didn't get the subdivision, you'd still need to get the subdivision.
Right.
I mean, we can go that way if you
Yeah.
want, we can go home.
No, I don't want to go home. I mean, I'm in the 12th inning already,
It's
like,
nice of you to offer that option, but I don't know why you would. Okay, so I think we're far enough along that someone wanted to,
Go ahead, no, Jim, go ahead.
Was it, well, the public hearing part, did we open it and close
oh,
it? and
good
all that?
question. That's a good, thank you for the reminder. It's 8:01, public hearings. Wait a minute, we had to ask anybody. Would you like to speak for or against?
Neither. Hearing properly, you can't mess things up if you forget to do the public hearing.
Sorry?
Can't it mess things up if you forget to do the public hearing?
Yes.
And it's open.
But he's getting ready to do that.
Yeah,
so he's
that's
doing
it.
Yeah.
It's 8:01, the public hearing is open. Would you like to speak for or against? I can't tell you how happy we are that
Mr.
you're here.
Mallender, you opened the public hearing at 7:50.
Oh, that's true.
You just need to do the for and against.
For and against.
Yeah.
Against.
Would you like to speak for the petition? Would you like to speak against the petition? 8:02, public hearing is closed. I'm glad you're here. You had something. Besides that, that was it?
No, I had just a question on the subdivision part. Does it, I think this is for Michael maybe, or for either, did that, the ideas behind it, does it involve sidewalks and that sort of thing? And if so, was that included in the plot for sidewalks? Is it required and was it included?
So the other subdivision that's to the east, we talked about that already, and the code requires sidewalks put in for that. Would you want to add them in front of this property too, because it's a subdivision, technically it should be.
I mean, I'm fine following the rules, like, I don't have a problem putting a
There's gonna be
subdivision.
a gap in there though,
What?
there's gonna be a gap, right? You don't own everything to the east.
No, I mean, I mean, I could put a sidewalk in front of my property, that's fine, on both parcels. I mean, I don't mind doing that.
We talked about that for the other parcels, so that's part of what we're gonna do.
Just so it's consistent
Yeah.
in planning for future, others may develop and then connectivity.
Yeah, no, I get it.
'Cause we have a lot of those in town now with sidewalks to nowhere.
No, I've done a few myself, not in this town, but, yeah.
Sure.
I'm just happy to put forth the motion, and if you guys agree, great, if not, that's okay too. But I motion that the Plan Commission approve the subdivision, and I'll err on the side of caution with the condition that the subdivision will terminate if BZA variance is not satisfied.
I will second that motion.
Comments, questions, clarifications?
Would we, on the sidewalk topic, would this be the appropriate time to include that? Michael?
Well, if you want, it's part of the subdivision approval anyway, so.
So it would already be addressed?
It's a code item, yeah, so when he applies for his permits, we'll make sure he gets sidewalk put in.
Okay, so there's no need to add it to this motion? Or is-
No, it's redundant, but you can if you want.
I just erred on the side of caution, we do want your house there.
Oh, thanks.
Other comments, questions? Tammy, roll call?
Mr. Erickson,
Yes.
Ms. Burke,
Yes.
Ms. Duffy,
Yes.
Mr. Burge,
Yes.
Mr. Bogowski,
Yes.
Mr. Mallender.
Yes. Brian, your subdivision is approved.
Well, thanks for your time, and thanks for staying late.
Hang on a second. We actually have the plat. So
You do this now or do it after?
typically, and I had looked at this prior, but it's got the plan commission signature section and the notary on it, so if we wanna approve this and sign it, we can do it now. I mean, it's up to you.
How many people have to sign it?
Just you.
I suggest
Oh,
we do it
do
another.
they all sign it?
No, just one.
Just me and,
And Tammy notarized.
okay, let's do it another time. Everybody wants to go home, we got more.
We'll keep it.
Is that okay with you, Brian? I mean,
Yeah, no, I'm not.
I'll come back in tomorrow morning and talk to Tammy then.
Okay. I'll call you, Brian, when it's done.
I won't listen to this so.
All right, thanks.
We only got 3 more readings, right?
We're gonna go into penalty kicks. Okay, other old business, we have 2 draft ordinances, one we've been working on for a long time, one we've been working on for a little bit. I have received a few comments on the rental ordinance. That one's the first one, right? Rental ordinance. I didn't actually receive much of the comments. The only one I got was from Tara. And let me,
I went through this afternoon, had a couple of questions,
Okay.
but I didn't have an opportunity to get them sent to you.
so, Tara, do you want to summarize them?
Oh, sure.
Or I can read them in full. What do you
Oh,
think?
just this quick summary, I think. Well, I should probably remember what I wrote as well. Thank you. I just wanted to make sure that, that it was a deliberate action that we did not include house and pet sitting exchanges. Trusted House Sitter is the new Airbnb. My friends are all using it. I maybe use it. I know that there's 1 in Porter, there's 2 in Chesterton, but those are not exchange of rental income, so they cannot be included in this ordinance. Neighbors might mention that, just as a matter of business, if anyone raises it. That was a deliberate action. And then the other one was in section XX05, tenant information. I haven't run an Airbnb since 2020, but when I did run an Airbnb, and as far as I know right now, just from using it, Airbnb and VRBO prohibits any host from contacting outside their platform. The platform is the moneymaker. So you kind of sign a legal agreement that you're not supposed to contact. Now you do, but you kind of go at great lengths to do that if you want their information. So the tenant information in section XX05 says that you need 10 days to provide the town with a name and an address and a phone number if they need to legally contact your tenant. But with Airbnb and VRBO, I think that you would have a really hard time complying with that. Because it's just an algorithm, so I can text someone, hey, what's your name and address? And they can say, oh, sure, the name and address is this, and it just comes up as XXXXXX. Like the algorithm won't let you have it.
Except I do know there are Airbnbs that require, for instance, you to send them an ID first, so they can verify who's there, and potentially names of who's there. So it is going through the platform,
It's all platforms, so I don't.
but it is,
So who does the town request the information from? The platform or from the host? Because I can give you my platform. Sure, you can contact Airbnb on my behalf all you want, but Airbnb keeps that information. Not,
no, for instance, as an example, I just rented an Airbnb and had to send them a copy of my ID, a picture of my ID, and I'm communicating directly with the renter.
okay. That's how all of our Airbnbs in the town must be set up. That is not, I don't think, commonplace in Airbnb.
I don't think that, I agree with you that my experience locally is not how it has been in other states. And other, for instance, Illinois, Massachusetts, they have asked specifically, and it's part of their house rules, you must provide prior to a copy of a photo ID, identification, and they require it or they will not rent to you. And I agree with you that maybe it's just, we're behind, or we're not doing that yet, or maybe it's just offensive to people here, right, versus other places. I don't know what the rub is or what the explanation.
Well, we can require that then.
But it's a heads up for us to look into.
It's a heads up for the host because there's 2 ways that you can do the Airbnb. You can just say, hey, I need selective people. That's one way to do it. it's not as good for business. The other way to do it is I want an auto booking. I don't care who you are, you have bad reviews, auto book it, auto book it, auto book it.
Right.
So what you're saying is that you definitely need, in this community, you will definitely need the second one, because the second one will require me to send that ID.
And like you said, that may affect the levels of business.
But that's what our town would require in that case.
That's what, I agree with you, that's what that would do, is make it more selective.
And that's, okay, as long as we're all clear on that. I don't really have a problem with that. I don't know.
Okay, the third one though.
And then the only thing is, when Mike was talking about having businesses register, and maybe getting that a little bit more organized, as well as just understanding, I guess, getting people registered and having people follow law. Some like New York, some bigger cities have you display the permit number in the listing description, so that way neighbors can also kind of help monitor and register. And I thought that, of all the things that I looked at with different cities that did that, I thought that was maybe helpful, but I don't do Mike's job, so I don't know.
I think it's very helpful, I love it, yeah. Great idea.
And some people do it here voluntarily, because I have seen them
Yeah.
post things in their
I like it.
And it helps other people right, recognize that it might not be legit. And
Yep.
within town codes, or it creates issues for them. So, yeah, it probably has
So that would be another requirement, just in your list. So I just put the wording, all short-term rental listings on any platform shall display the town of Porter permit number in the listing description. So that would just be added on to,
I like it,
and that was it.
very good.
Okay, we're gonna come back to that. Jim, what do you got?
On the copy I was looking at that was sent this past week, it still had fees not on there, but in the last whereas, it was talking about how the state has taken away all those fees. How does that jive? Is there,
what is it, $5?
$5 for a rental, $150 for a short term is what the state code says.
okay. Okay, so that's all compliant with that and doesn't violate that last whereas, okay. The second thing I had was, in there we have we talk about things being inspected. But it doesn't say, at least I didn't see, what happens if it fails the inspection. It doesn't spell that out. Is that something
Right.
that's
Yeah.
an oversight, or is that something that maybe I missed?
Probably, yeah, I'd have to look, I'll search it, but that might not be in there, yeah. Good point.
Explain that one again?
When an inspection is done,
Yeah.
if it fails, what happens? What's the procedure? What's the,
I thought that was in there, but I'll have to look.
Okay. All right,
I'll double check that, because I don't have it in front of me, but
Yeah.
let me check that.
okay, other comments about the rental? So, in terms of actions, I think we have regard to 2 and 3, let's check, let's make sure that the version that we post has the right areas, the right fees shown and not any of the other ones. I think that's just making sure we post the right version. And then, let's take a look at this procedure following failure and make sure we've got the right stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe,
We haven't created the checklist yet. I have samples of it, but we haven't actually created that yet. For inspections, it's probably not horribly hard to do, because I have a whole bunch of samples. The one thing that it really isn't nailed down, and I wanted some opinions on is I'll just say fines. So I just threw numbers in there to plug in spaces. I've had a couple people comment to me they're too low. And what they compared them to were much larger cities. Well, we're not a city, so, we don't generally have massive fines in there, but we also have the, and I just talked to Mr. Lopez about this recently, but we have in our redone ordinance the need for what's called a Porter administrative body. So any fine over $250 requires that we have this Porter administrative body, which is appointed by the council. So I talked to Bill about that late last week, because our clerk treasurer can't take a fine larger than $250 by state law, unless it goes through some sort of other action first. So I threw lower numbers in there just to plug them in, but I really like some feedback on what people think about that, because the comments I've received is they're too low. And I just, like I said, plug numbers in there to fill them in for this point.
did have one other, I just missed on my note here. I went through under section 8, letter F, talks about establishing, that fund. But I'm thinking that the council's probably gonna look for some direction, what amount would this body suggest that
think the
fund
The
be established
the
at?
theory was we establish a fund which doesn't have anything in it. And it's, when we start getting the rental, the inspection fees and/or the registration fees, that goes into the fund.
Okay,
Yeah.
so there's
Yeah.
no
nothing
seed
in
money
it.
going
Sorry.
on,
No,
it's
nothing
just
goes
from,
in it.
okay,
It's just providing the legal avenue
for a place
to
for it
establish it.
okay.
Yeah, and then
very
what
good.
that's used for is if there's any enforcement actions or anything we need to use, that pays back that stuff, so.
Okay,
It would just be if Corinne creates a fund, nothing's in it, that's what this
an
money
account to
goes
put it in, yeah, okay.
Can I suggest that we leave the fines where they are right now? We're gonna have the public hearing, we can hear what
Mhm.
people talk about. And we can either add it as we edit things post-public hearing. Or the plan commission could also say, we'll let the staff figure that out. That's another
Right.
option, but we'll have to settle it tonight. But I understand the parameters that you've said about collecting it. Let's get back to the first one. So Tara's made the suggestion about permit number display. We have the version, we're gonna make sure we get the right one out there. Would the commission consider making a motion right now to append unto section XXX 35, Tara's suggestion, quote, all short-term rentals listings on any platform shall display the town of Parmer permit number in the listing description. Okay, Tammy, roll call. Yeah, let's do a roll call anyway, it doesn't hurt.
Mr. Erickson?
Yes.
Ms. Burke?
Yes.
Ms. Duffy?
Yes.
Mr. Burge?
Yes,
Mr. Bogowski?
Yes.
Mr. Malinger?
Yes, so we'll change that. All right, if we set it to public hearing, we're gonna make sure we got the right version with regard to those issues that Jim brought up. We'll amend it so that we've got XXX 35, and then we're gonna leave the fines as they are. So, a reminder, a vote, a motion now to set it to public hearing.
Rob,
Yes,
so back to item number 1.
yes.
Shouldn't we list in there somewhere that those aren't?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think you said or other, but as long as we've got other platforms that we know about, doesn't hurt to put them in there, right? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, that's not what I said at all.
No, should we add the specific verbiage that those aren't part of it?
Oh, I guess it didn't hurt if people ask that. I feel like you'll probably get a field a complaint or two eventually on some of those, but
So if it's not a rental, does it matter if we list it, if it's
no.
just that?
And no other towns are,
Okay.
I really tried to look for another town that did that. I just wanted to bring it up as
Okay.
kind of a point.
Another thing is if it does become an issue, it'll become an issue in the future, let's get this in place. And then we can always we always recommend the council amend.
I actually need to find a trusted house sitter, so now I
That is
know.
interesting.
Oh, you should jump on the platform.
All right, so, if there's nothing else, I would look for a motion to set this to public hearing in July.
So moved.
Second.
Please take a roll call.
Mr. Erickson?
Yes.
Ms. Burke?
Yes.
Ms. Duffy?
Yes.
Mr. Burge?
yes,
Mr. Bogowski?
Yes.
Mr. Malinger?
Yes,
I have to get all this done by Friday.
okay. So we have some editing we need to make, and we need to get this thing posted, and we need to get some notices out.
I have 2
Friday.
days
She has 2 days.
2 days.
because of the holiday.
2 days for the notice, we could take a little bit more time to post the text, or do we need to get the
Well,
text?
technically, the notice says that it's available in the clerk's
Yeah.
office.
That's easy to change though.
What do you think, Mike? Can we get this done?
That's
by-
easy, yeah. She already wrote the words for me, so.
Yeah,
I can do that in 5 minutes,
okay, go for
no
it.
problem, yeah.
All right, that's that. Time for one more. Okay, we also had the exterior lighting ordinance that we're gonna look at. So I did receive some comment from Jay. He looked at it, he had no changes. I looked at it, I found that the definition for down has a faulty description in it. It says 270 degrees. off of horizontal. It should, which can be right, but what simply should say is 90 degrees down from horizontal. So that was a technical difficulty. That's got to be changed. Other folks have any other comments about it, or changes they want to make?
I do have a couple. On the, in there it talks about on the commercial lighting, if, you know, after the business hours, whatever, to dim those lights.
Right.
But if the current wiring and all that structure isn't set up to be able to do that, what happens, I guess? What, you know, how would we address? Is that just the business has to undergo that expense to redo all the wiring and everything for their parking lots, or?
Well, one thing is they have time. They have time to comply.
Has to be.
Technical issue, a technical answer for the question?
I'm not sure about dimming LED outdoor lights. Not sure if we can dim them or if they have to.
Because our wording says the word dimming, and it's,
Yeah, I know.
how do they actually get that accomplished?
There's two businesses right now that are hugely non-compliant that added new lighting in the last few years. They have LED outdoor lights. They're very bright. They're probably 5,000 K lights, so they're wrong color to start with, but they're extremely bright, and they were put in without, my knowledge, so I found out about them later. And they're just the flat panel that just throws light out all over the place. So they would be non-compliant anyway. So how we would, if we go with light, color, and intensity, then I think we've covered everything. I don't know if we can make them physically dim the lights, so I'm not sure how to handle that.
Okay.
Or maybe it shouldn't be in there.
We'll be able to solve it tonight. It was just a question
Yeah,
as
good
to
question.
addressing that. Then, let's see, the only other thought I had was, in there, we have lots of technical wording, things that electricians and things like that would understand, but John Q. Public may not. So just as a suggestion as moving forward of some sort of illustrations, pictures, examples that can be available, whether it's at the clerk's office or whatever, so people are, how do I do that, and that and pictorially it can get across, rather than them trying to figure out lumens and kelvins and all that sort of thing.
Lux?
Yeah, exactly. So the average Joe can easily tell what they need to do without trying to interpret something that may sound like Greek to them.
I want to add in a, what's the word I want? Conversion for lux and lumens and all that, because
Yeah.
it's not in there. And you can Google it, but I actually want to write it in there, because we use interchangeable terms in there. They're not the same thing.
Kind of like a reference guide, or, just that picture-wise, it shows, it gets across quickly, so they understand. It could be compliant, because
And I think we explained this before, but I'm not sure, so I'll just repeat it if it is. But we took the ESC recommendations, and then Rob and I sat down and took Claude AI and put a whole bunch of stuff together, and I have to really thank Rob for, running through all that. And it's not.
We used
it's-
your technical knowledge.
Yeah, it's
to
an AI
steer it.
spit out version, so it's not, humanized yet, so there's some AI silliness in the way this is written.
Yeah.
But it put it in an ordinance format, which is kind of cool, and it didn't take us horribly long to do, so it saves a lot of time, and it gives you a good rough place to start that's much better than trying to hash it out yourself. So there's still a little goofiness in there that needs to get taken out.
I don't have any problem with the wording. I mean, it has to be in there to
It has
clearly
to be
define.
clearer,
This would be
yeah.
like an addendum, an extra thing, a
Yeah.
practical thing that we could hand out for people
Yes.
to be
Yeah.
a help guide.
The one thing that's probably gonna be a little challenging is how long do we give businesses to comply?
Yeah,
And we'll talk about that
that's
later.
that's a judgment call.
Most of them aren't
That's
horrible,
okay.
but there's two really egregious ones that I get complaints about.
Yeah.
And if I said them out loud, you
That was
probably
it?
know what.
So I want to expand, and Jim's point, it's really, this would be a new complex ordinance. And outside the ordinance, the town can support compliance and understanding by the way it implements it with supporting materials to explain stuff. Actually, that's true, the rental ordinance too, although it's not as technically complex. If we want to have good compliance, if we want to be fair to everybody, we need an outreach campaign that explains the ordinance. It's just much more technically demanding for that, but we really should make implementation for both of those.
Pretty much every week, I get at least 2 or 3 phone calls about short-term rentals. Because almost every property that sells lately becomes a short-term rental.
Yeah.
And we're going to end up being short-term rental town pretty soon. And so when they call, I say, this is what we're working on, this is what we're gonna do. And they're all like, oh, okay, because most of the people that call have short-term rentals somewhere else. And they're already used to the same basic registration and inspection.
Yeah.
So nobody's said, oh my God, I'm not gonna buy that house. They're, oh yeah, that's fine, we're okay with that.
On that note, Mike, would we ever consider, if not now, maybe in the future, limiting those? Because I know a lot of towns have a number, like our beach passes, we only have 700 of those, like,
Well, the way the state law is written, you can't.
oh, yes,
So-
I forgot.
New Buffalo's done that, but they're in Michigan, and they put more, Indiana has a law that you can't tell them, you can't have it. We can put, the restrictions we can put on it are basically what we wrote in here. So it's,
I'm sorry,
yeah, we can't limit the number.
Yeah, Michiana Shores is the only one that locally that I know that did.
Made it
They
a
had a
while.
certain amount and they
Yeah.
distinguished between residents and non-residential.
Yeah.
And then they also made it a special exception, so, but all that's out the door.
Yeah,
Too late. We could have a motion to set this to public hearing. We could have a motion to set this public hearing in August, just to spread out the burden on us and on the public to come, because I think both of these deserve attention. And today was kind of a long day. So I would entertain an emotion, whatever is the sense of the commission.
I would motion that we set this to public hearing in August, at our August meeting on August 19th.
Can we do voice vote?
Of course.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Who seconded it?
Jim.
Oh,
I did.
yep. Got it. Okay, glory be to God. Update from the town council.
Nothing right at the moment.
Counselor or the building department,
Nothing
no,
from me.
just go ahead
Anybody?
and move forward with it.
anybody want to adjourn? All in favor?
Aye.
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 8:27. Thank you.